Welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Taylor McWaters. Here are the top 10 most feared demons that might be walking among us. Part 2, more demons. Here we go. Kicking off the list at number 10, Asmodeus. Not to be confused with Amadeus, he was a little nicer, that fellow. Asmodeus is the king of demons and earthly spirits and is often referred to as one of the 7 princes of hell. Yeah, there's 7 princes of hell. It's we could be part 3, part 4, you name it. He also represents one of the 7 deadly sins. Lust. Before becoming a demon in his former life, he was an angel who was known as Asmodeus, aka the Angel of April, and aka Patience, who rules the zodiac sign Taurus. If you've been playing a lot of Hades, this list will ring a few bells for sure. But of course, we're here to talk about this demon, from which is said to appear either as a ruthless, brutal monster, or as a kind of mischievous demon that's playful and quick thinking. Honestly, either form you get here is going to be a pretty bad time. The monster would be pretty scary to see, but also a little annoying. And for the most terrifying exit that I've ever heard of, it is said that Asmodeus will cut himself into pieces and then immediately disappear afterwards, so you'll know. You'll definitely know. Number 9, Azazel. Azazel is one of the chief governors of the Grigori, which is a group of fallen angels who married female mortals, which then produced the Nephilim, which were these giant, scary creatures that ate mortals. There, now we're caught up. Awesome. In the beginning, Azazel started as an eater of sins, little hungry fellow, but the more sins that he consumed, the hungrier he became, and this led to him not being satisfied by the sins he was receiving, right? Got a little too addicted. It's like chapstick. You put too much on, now you need it forever. No going back. The reason he was cast from heaven in the first place is because he taught men how to make swords, knives, shields, and breastplates, which then led to humans being the worst people on the, I was gonna say planet, but the worst people ever, just in all the galaxies. It is said that the humans went so far that they were planning to raid heaven, and this is when God told Raphael to bind Azazel's hands and feet, open up a hole in the desert, and then, toss him in. Just cast him into darkness. He's not a really bright fellow, that one. This worked, and for a long time, Azazel remained in said prison. It was so bad that the jagged rocks near him actually tore his physical body away, and this left him as a mass of darkness covered in just mouths and eyes. Yeah, aka the worst thing you could possibly imagine. But fun fact, he was later freed by Lucifer, and then he went on to join the demons in hell, so could be here, could be there. Who knows? Number 8, Baba Yaga. Coming from Slavic folklore, Baba Yaga is a witch who is depicted as an elderly woman, and she lives in a hut deep in the forest. Nice, I am terrified of witches, so I had to include the old Baba Yaga. This hut is said to stand on thin stilts, which are referred to as chicken legs. Sounds cute, but it is not in real life. It's haunting. You don't want to run into this cabin in the woods. It's said that the Baba Yaga takes random people back to this hut, and then you're soon witch lunch. Obviously, it's horrible. In the original mythology, she would transport people from the world of the dead to the world of the living. People believe that the Baba Yaga actually lived in the sanctuary of the dead. Nice place to shack up. She served as a guardian of ancestral heritage and would conduct a ritual to turn a boy into a warrior. That was her part-time job. More often than not, a young man would be searching for his lost bride, and that's when he would get kidnapped by the Hag. Yeah, also, what an interesting nickname, the Hag. Maybe if we stop calling her the Hag, she'll stop taking dudes before their wedding night. I don't know, just an idea. Number 7, Skogsra. This creature originated from Swedish folklore and is a creature that appears in the form of a beautiful, dazzling woman. Well, kind of. From the front at least. From the back, apparently she has like this hollow, skeleton-like back and a tail. It's not good. If you see a hollow back, holler back, because we're not going that way, my friends. We're going this way. She's often seen near the edge of a forest and will begin to try and, entice you into following her into said forest. But once she lures you in, she'll trap you by causing a disorienting feeling which will leave you lost, like in the lost woods of Ocarina of Time. It's said that if this occurs, you will spend the rest of your life trying to find your way out of these woods. But of course, to no avail. That's pretty haunting. My legs are tired thinking of that already. Never going into any woods ever again. Number 6, sleep paralysis demon. Yeah, we've all seen this one at some point, right? Maybe? Just me? Since it's a part 2, I figured we'd look into some witness accounts from demon activity, right? Mix it up. Like this story, for example. This one comes from the Reddit user JStation666, and this is what they had to say about their own personal sleep demon encounter. I was laying in bed and I fell asleep, so I woke up not being able to move or scream. That's how you know, right there. I tried my best and it went on for about 5 minutes, but nothing. It stopped, and after that I felt hands around my throat choking me. I looked up and all I saw was a very tall black outline of a figure with flaming hair, and I could feel its long long fingers, like claws almost, around my neck. This next morning I got up and there's actual red marks around my neck of what looks to be very large hands. Sadly, I didn't take a picture, and after it was hard for me to get back to sleep in a dark room. Yeah, don't worry about taking a photo. Seems like your hands were a little full. I don't know. Seems like a weird time for a Instagram boomerang, if you ask me. Glad you're okay. Also, thanks for sharing. Number 5, Belphegor. Belphegor is a fallen angel, of course, and after his fall from heaven, he now has to become the demon lord, presiding over the sin of sloth. It is said that as Belphegor served as a lieutenant from hell, he was sent to Earth on a mission by Satan. Yeah, of course. Satan himself is like, hey, get up there, go break some legs, give him hell. There we go. While he was on Earth, he grew fond of Paris, France, and it's said that because of his affinity with it, he now lurks deep within the catacombs under the city. Nice. Come for the Eiffel Tower, stay for the catacombs. That should be the new catchphrase. Or it shouldn't be, actually. Belphegor can be invoked by mortals who are wishing to find fame and wealth. Basically any TikToker, I guess. You're pretty much doomed. Usually through as little effort as possible, hence where the demon comes in. But these wishes are of course doomed to fail because of the demon's true mission to lure the dreamers into sloth. Yeah, through the failure of whatever was provided to the dreamer by Belphegor, he then draws them into procrastination and idle dreaming rather than the active production, which then condemns them to a life of failure over and over again. Sounds kind of familiar, this one. Belphegor is also recognized as one of the 7 great kings who rule over hell. Nice, we're getting all 7 of these guys down. And number 4, Näkki. The Näkki is a demonic djinn that originated in Estonian, Finnish, and Swedish mythologies. She sometimes appears as a floating tree trunk, sometimes a large black horse, sometimes a hound, sometimes a silvery fish, sometimes a beautiful woman, sometimes an ugly fisherman. Many appearances. Like I said, we're all doomed. With all these shapes and forms, it's no wonder people say they aren't sure what she actually looks like. But we do know this. She lives in the water and she waits until some unsuspecting victim catches their reflection in the water, and that's when she strikes in one of her many forms. She pulls them into the waters below. It's horrible. It's said that her favorite places to make her home are under bridges that cross rivers, docks or piers, or in murky pools and wells. Yeah, nice. So pretty much never swimming again in my entire life. The good thing here is that there are always ways to ward off her evil, and that is by either reciting a magic spell 3 times before entering the water, or by wearing a charm made of iron. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend anything heavy on your persons near any body of water, so better start learning some spells real quick. Number 3, the Night Hag. The Night Hag is a creature that comes from Brazil. She's a tall, skinny woman with yellow fingernails. She's got white hair, green teeth, red eyes, and a horrible laugh. She crawls across rooftops and watches families while they're inside of their homes just doing their nice cozy family stuff. She watches the family eat and waits until one of them happens to go to sleep with a stomach full of food. That's very important. You gotta really stock up here. She waits until you're asleep, which is then her moment to strike. She'll sneak into your bedroom and sit on your chest so that you're of course unable to move, and then she sits there and waits for her victim to be kind of awake, kind of not awake, which is what some of us call sleep paralysis. She then thrives off of the horror and the helplessness that her victim has to experience at that moment. Obviously, waking up with a witch sitting on your chest, you're gonna be a little bit alarmed, knowing that despite their best attempts, they're unable to move or call for help. So maybe have like some sort of chestal plate when you go to sleep, some sort of knight's armor. We're good. Number 2, the Jorogumo. Not technically a demon, but hear me out. Still so haunting. One of the scariest things I've ever heard about. This creature, according to lore, is said to be a yokai that is half woman and half spider. Ugh, that sucks. She has the ability to appear as a beautiful human in order to, lure unsuspecting men back to her place so she can then devour them like a black widow spider would. Legend has it one day a young samurai encountered this alluringly gorgeous woman on the streets, and many people would have been fooled by her dazzling appearance, but the samurai, he was not so naive. He was smart. He was onto something here. She was too beautiful. He saw through this disguise and immediately drew his sword, but he was only able to injure her before she was able to scurry away. Also, yeah, don't attack people. This is an old folk tale thing. He followed the trail of scarlet that was left by her blood, and then it led him to an old abandoned house. When he peered inside, he saw dozens of bodies that were all bound in spider silk. Yeah, she was indeed a half spider, half monster. I'm getting Ocarina of Time flashbacks right now. Let's finish this list up before I faint. Number 1, La Llorona. Here we go, the weeping woman herself. She's actually named Maria. She's got a softer name in real life. The weeping woman, it's like, no, it's Maria. And she is from Mexico. Yeah, she's got long black hair and is known for her greedy heart. Now, when she was alive, the man she loved would not love her back. Yes, it's sad, it's tragic. And legend still says that because of this, she did some very horrible things afterwards. Realizing the terrible things she did in her fit of rage, she ends ended up throwing herself into the ocean. Now, after her passing, because of her sins that she had done previously that I can't really mention on YouTube, heaven would not allow her in, of course, and instead she was condemned to wander the world in eternal grief. Yeah, just walking around weeping, just what you want to see on an afternoon. When people see her, she's usually walking, wearing all white and soaking wet, so again, pretty obvious. She can be heard yelling out for those that she has killed as she wails, "Oh, my family." Yeah, imagine just hearing someone yelling about their family, and it's just a weeping, wet, haunting woman. This is terrible. It is said that she can be summoned by going into the bathroom, turning off all the lights, and then splashing water on the mirror before you say her name, La Llorona, 3 times. Also, grab a towel, clean up this mirror and this mess. What's going on here? Those are the top 10 most feared demons that might be walking among us, part 2. If you want a part 3, sound off below. I'll gladly return and maybe possess myself. Who knows? I've been your host, Taylor McWaters. See you next time. Most amazing top 10.